Your thoughts are the seeds that shape your reality. Every outcome you experience begins as a thought in your mind, whether conscious or subconscious. When you allow negative, limiting, or anxious thoughts to dominate, they create a lens through which you see yourself and the world. This lens colors your perception, influences your decisions, and eventually manifests as your results. The first step towards instant life transformation is developing awareness of what you repeatedly think about each day. Are your thoughts focused on what you lack or on what you can create? Do you dwell on fear or do you imagine possibilities? Awareness is the gateway to control. Once you become aware of your thought patterns, you can begin the process of intentional redirection. This means catching yourself in the middle of a limiting or unhelpful thought and choosing a new, empowering one. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough to succeed in this," you can consciously replace it with, "I am capable of learning and mastering anything I commit to." This isn't mere positive thinking. It's cognitive reprogramming that changes the neural pathways in your brain. Over time, your mind learns to default to empowering beliefs instead of self-defeating ones. But controlling your thoughts doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring negativity. It means observing it without judgment and then guiding your focus towards what serves you. It is about becoming the master of your mind rather than its victim. Just as you wouldn't allow weeds to overtake your garden, you shouldn't allow destructive thoughts to take root in your mind. This requires daily discipline, reading empowering material, affirming your goals, visualizing your desired outcomes, and reframing setbacks into lessons. Thought control is the foundation of emotional mastery, behavior change, and spiritual alignment. When you learn to control your thoughts, you gain the power to shape your reality intentionally. Suddenly, opportunities appear where you once saw obstacles. You begin to radiate confidence because your mind is no longer clouded with fear and doubt. The quality of your life becomes a reflection of the quality of your thinking. Therefore, the fastest way to transform your life instantly is to take command of your inner world. Everything external is simply an extension of what you think, believe, and choose to focus on. Master your thoughts, and you master your destiny. Your emotions are powerful indicators of your inner state, but when left unchecked, they can also become chains that limit your potential. Many people believe emotions just happen to them, but in truth, emotions are responses created by your interpretations of events. The same situation can evoke anger in one person, gratitude in another, and indifference in someone else. This shows that external events do not control your emotions. Your meaning-making does. Real transformation begins when you take responsibility for how you feel and refuse to let emotions dictate your behavior without conscious reflection. To control your emotions does not mean to suppress them or pretend you feel differently. Emotional control is about emotional intelligence, understanding what you feel, why you feel it, and how to express it in a healthy, constructive way. For instance, when you feel anger rising, emotional mastery means pausing to breathe and observe it instead of reacting impulsively. Ask yourself, what is this anger telling me about my unmet needs or boundaries? Similarly, when anxiety arises, instead of being paralyzed, you can ground yourself by asking, what exactly am I fearing, and what is within my control right now? This inner dialogue transforms emotions from rulers to guides. Another key aspect of controlling your emotions is learning how to generate the emotional states that empower you. If you want to perform with excellence, you must learn to activate confidence, focus, and enthusiasm, even when circumstances do not support it. This is a practice of self-regulation, where you use your physiology, posture, breath, movement, and focus, what you think about and visualize, to shift your state. For example, a simple practice like standing tall with your shoulders back, closing your eyes, breathing deeply, and visualizing a powerful moment of achievement can instantly change your emotional state from fear to certainty. Ultimately, controlling your emotions gives you the power to remain grounded, calm, and centered, no matter what storms surround you. Life will always present challenges, but when you are no longer hijacked by anger, fear, doubt, or sadness, you gain clarity to make wise decisions. People who master their emotions become unshakable. They become leaders in their families, businesses, and communities because they respond rather than react. One of the most empowering truths about personal growth is that change does not always take years to manifest. Small shifts in how you think, feel, act, and spend your time can create an immediate impact in your life. For example, when you decide to wake up early tomorrow and begin your day with gratitude and silence instead of scrolling social media, you will instantly notice greater mental clarity and calm. When you replace a negative thought with an empowering one, your energy and confidence change instantly. These small adjustments may seem insignificant at first, but their immediate effect can ignite a deep sense of hope and momentum within you. The reason small shifts create instant transformation is because they interrupt old patterns that keep you stuck. Imagine a car moving in the wrong direction at full speed. Even a slight turn of the steering wheel will change its destination over time. In the same way, deciding to control your thoughts, emotions, habits, or time today, even in one small area, will redirect the trajectory of your life. For example, if you pause before reacting in anger and instead respond calmly, you instantly change the outcome of that interaction and the energy you carry for the rest of the day. Each small decision you make differently today creates ripples of impact that extend into tomorrow. Moreover, the immediate impact of these shifts is not only external, but also internal. When you prove to yourself that you can control your mind, emotions, habits, or time, your self-belief skyrockets. You feel powerful and capable because you realize that change is within your control. This feeling alone can inspire you to keep moving forward with greater commitment. Often, people think they need to wait months to feel better, but in reality, a single choice aligned with your higher self can instantly lift your spirit and change your perspective. The transformation begins the moment you decide to act differently. Ultimately, the beauty of immediate impact is that it builds momentum for long-term change. When you experience even a small positive result, you become motivated to take the next step. You realize transformation is not some faraway dream. It is created one choice at a time. Life begins to feel exciting again because you understand that you hold the power to change it, starting right now. Whether it's choosing empowering thoughts, regulating emotions, adopting a small productive habit, or managing your time better today, these seemingly simple shifts can transform how you feel and live instantly. And that is where all true transformation begins. While small shifts create an immediate impact, their true power lies in their ability to build long-term growth. When you consistently control your thoughts, emotions, habits, and time, these actions compound to create exponential transformation. It's similar to planting a seed. You may not see its growth in a day, but with daily watering, sunlight, and nourishment, it grows into a strong tree that bears fruit season after season. The habits and disciplines you build today are the seeds for the person you will become tomorrow. Long-term growth is not a one-time event, but the result of small, intentional actions done consistently over time. Many people underestimate the power of consistency. They start with enthusiasm, hoping for instant, large-scale results, and when they don't see them, they quit. But true growth does not happen overnight. It is built daily through repetition and resilience. When you wake up every morning and choose gratitude, focus, discipline, and intentional action, you rewire your mind and body to operate at a higher frequency. Over time, these small daily decisions create a new identity, one that is stronger, wiser, more confident, and deeply aligned with purpose. This is why consistency beats intensity in creating lasting transformation. Long-term growth also builds unshakable inner strength. Each time you choose to regulate your emotions instead of reacting impulsively, you build emotional resilience. Each time you manage your time wisely and prioritize what matters, you build self-respect and trust. Each time you replace limiting thoughts with empowering beliefs, you reprogram your subconscious mind. These small victories add up, creating a person who is no longer ruled by circumstance, but instead becomes the master of their reality. It is in the quiet consistency of daily discipline that your greatness is forged. Ultimately, long-term growth is about becoming the highest version of yourself, not for external validation, but for inner fulfillment. When you look back a year from now, you will see that it was never the big events that transformed you most. It was the silent, unseen choices you made each day when no one was watching. When you control your emotions, you create peace within yourself. And from that place, you can transform every area of your life with strength and intention. Your habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They determine how you spend your time, how you think, how you feel, and ultimately who you become. Many people desire transformation, but remain trapped in cycles of frustration because they underestimate the power of daily habits. It's not what you do once in a while that shapes your life, but what you do consistently. Every small habit, whether empowering or destructive, compounds over time to build your reality. If you want to change your life, start by examining your habits from the moment you wake up to the minute you fall asleep. Controlling your habits begins with awareness. Most people live on autopilot, repeating routines they never consciously chose. They wake up scrolling their phones, snooze their alarms repeatedly, eat whatever is convenient, and react to life rather than intentionally creating it. To master your habits, you must first identify what is keeping you stagnant. Ask yourself, what habits are pulling me away from my goals? What habits do I need to build to align with the person I want to become? This reflection will illuminate how your current routines are either reinforcing your limitations or empowering your growth. Once you become aware, the next step is to redesign your habits with intention. Start small. Transformation doesn't require drastic overnight changes. It requires consistency in the right direction. Right? For example, if you want to build a reading habit, start with 5 pages daily instead of aiming for an entire book in a week. If you want to wake up earlier, commit to sleeping just 15 minutes earlier tonight. Small, achievable steps create momentum, and with each small victory, your self-trust and confidence grow. This compounding effect eventually results in massive, sustainable transformation. Controlling your habits is ultimately about taking command of your life. Your habits reflect your self-discipline, self-respect, and vision for your future. When you choose habits that align with your goals, such as morning meditation, focused work blocks, intentional movement, healthy eating, reading, and planning, you build a life of order, strength, and clarity. You stop feeling like life is happening to you and realize you are the architect of your destiny. Master your habits, and you will transform your identity. From there, achieving any goal becomes inevitable because your daily actions are already aligned with your highest self. Time is the most valuable, non-renewable resource you have. Unlike money, you cannot earn back a single minute that has passed. Yet, many people treat time casually, wasting hours on distractions, mindless scrolling, or tasks that do not align with their goals. When you control your time, you control your life's direction. Every minute you spend is an investment either towards your growth or your stagnation. The question is, are you spending your time with intention? Or are you simply reacting to whatever demands your attention? Controlling your time starts with clear priorities. Without knowing what truly matters, you will find yourself busy but unproductive, exhausted but unfulfilled. Begin each day by asking yourself, what are the top 3 things that, if completed today, will move me closer to my vision? This forces you to focus on high-value activities rather than low-value busyness. When you manage your time by priority, you become effective rather than merely efficient. Remember, productivity is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters most with focused presence. Another critical aspect of time control is learning to say no. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to something deeply meaningful. Many people struggle with this because they fear disappointing others, but in trying to please everyone, they sacrifice their own dreams and peace. To master your time, you must protect it ruthlessly. This means setting boundaries with people, guarding your focus from distractions, and creating sacred, uninterrupted work blocks for your most important tasks. Your time is your life, and only you have the power and responsibility to protect it. Ultimately, when you learn to control your time, you create freedom. You no longer feel overwhelmed or rushed because you are moving through life with clarity, purpose, and calm intention. You become someone who respects your own journey enough to dedicate time to growth, reflection, relationships, and rest without guilt. Time control is not about rigid schedules. It is about intentional living. When you master your time, you realize that you have always had enough hours in a day. It was your focus, priorities, and discipline that needed realignment. From that mastery flows a life of peace, productivity, and profound fulfillment. These choices built your mindset, character, and habits, shaping a life of peace, strength, success, and meaning. Transformation is not an event you wait for. It is a process you create daily through intentional living. And when you commit to this process, your growth becomes limitless. Taking personal responsibility is the cornerstone of all true transformation. It means recognizing that you are the creator of your life, not merely a passive observer. Many people live in a state of blame, believing their circumstances, upbringing, past trauma, or other people are the reasons they are not where they want to be. While these factors influence your path, they do not define your future. The moment you decide to take full responsibility for your thoughts, emotions, habits, and time, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for external situations to change, and instead begin changing yourself from within. Personal responsibility is not about blaming yourself for everything that has happened to you. It is about accepting that you have the power to choose your response and direction moving forward. For instance, you may not have chosen the family you were born into or the challenges you faced, but you can choose how you interpret those experiences today. Will you let them make you bitter, or will you allow them to fuel your growth and purpose? This choice is always yours, and accepting it is the first step towards freedom and transformation. When you take responsibility, You stop giving your power away to other people or circumstances. You realize that no one owes you success, peace, or happiness. These are things you create through your daily decisions. Even if others have wronged you, staying stuck in resentment only poisons your own soul. Responsibility liberates you because it shifts your focus from what you cannot control to what you can. You begin to ask empowering questions. What can I do today to improve my situation? How can I grow from this? What lesson is this teaching me? These questions open doors to solutions, growth, and inner peace. Ultimately, personal responsibility is the mark of true maturity and leadership. It is the mindset that says, I am accountable for my life. If I don't like something, I will change it. If I fail, I will learn. If I succeed, I will remain humble and keep growing. This attitude not only transforms your life, but also inspires those around you to rise higher. Responsibility is not a burden. It is the ultimate freedom. When you accept that everything begins and ends with you, you step into your full power as the creator of your destiny, unshakable and unstoppable in your pursuit of your highest purpose. True freedom does not come from external circumstances. It comes from mastering yourself. Many people believe freedom is having no responsibilities, more money, or endless choices, but real freedom is the ability to control your mind, emotions, habits, and time, regardless of what is happening around you. When you gain this self-mastery, no situation, person, or challenge can enslave you mentally or emotionally. You realize that your peace is not dependent on others treating you a certain way. Your happiness is not tied to circumstances, and your confidence is not rooted in external validation. This is unshakable inner freedom. With this freedom comes immense power. When you no longer react impulsively to emotions, you can respond with wisdom and calm, even under pressure. When you control your thoughts, you can maintain clarity and focus even when surrounded by noise and chaos. When you control your habits, you create a life of discipline and excellence rather than disorder and regret. And when you control your time, you design each day with intention instead of drifting through life aimlessly. This is the power that makes leaders stand out, businesses succeed, relationships thrive, and souls feel fulfilled. Freedom and power are two sides of the same coin. Power without inner freedom leads to ego, control, and fear of loss. Freedom without power leads to drifting, indecision, and lack of purpose. But when you combine both, when you become free within yourself and harness the power of disciplined, intentional living, you become unstoppable. You begin to create from a place of wholeness rather than neediness, to love without attachment, to work without burnout, and to serve without resentment. You gain the power to shape your destiny, uplift others, and leave a meaningful legacy. Ultimately, freedom and power are the highest gifts you can give yourself. They liberate you from the prison of old patterns, external approval, and unconscious living. They awaken your highest potential and allow you to live with confidence, peace, and purpose every single day. Remember, no one can give you freedom and power but yourself. It is earned through the daily mastery of your thoughts, emotions, habits, and time.